The primary source of conflict between 1,000-pound sisters star Amy Slayton and Tammy is Amy's recent marriage. Despite Amy's husband consenting to marry her, he is unwilling to assume any responsibility for their children. This profoundly affects Tammy, rendering her unable to accept the marriage. Tammy asserts that a partnership ought to be founded on accountability and familial connections. I strongly dislike how Amy from 1,000-pound sisters is regressing while Tammy is making progress, and you likely will as well. Since the launch of 1,000-pound sisters, viewers have observed both Amy and Tammy navigating different stages in their weight loss journeys. In the current 7th season of the show, Tammy has prioritized her physical health and well-being, but Amy has taken a contrasting approach. Previously on TLC's 1,000-pound sisters, viewers observed Amy's metamorphosis. Nevertheless, she has exhibited inconsistency in her progress. Conversely, Tammy, who formerly weighed significantly more than Amy, has been an inspiring narrative for many. Tammy has astonished everyone with her weight loss, surgical procedures, personal development, and her recent skin removal surgery. Observers who have been monitoring Amy and Tammy across many facets of their health must have perceived the change. Currently, Tammy, after diligent effort and rigorous compliance with medical guidance, has qualified for skin removal surgery, whereas Amy has regressed. Following the 1,000-pound sisters, fans may harbor significant concerns on Tammy's weight, her weight loss journey, subsequent surgeries, dietary regimen, and related matters. Through her resolute determination and commitment, Tammy has demonstrated that with focused effort, success is attainable. Amy, her sister, has been experiencing much turmoil in her life recently and has not prioritized her physical health. Fans observed numerous pivotal occurrences in Amy's life, including a camel bite, an arrest, a marriage proposal from her fiancé, wedding preparations, and persistent conflicts with her siblings. Amy should have prioritized her physical health amidst all other occurrences. Undoubtedly, she endured significant challenges. Yet, she ought to have prioritized her physical health, among other considerations. Fans should recall her loss of 176 pounds in 2019, accompanied by bariatric surgery. All have been anticipating the release of that iteration of Amy, emphasizing her physical well-being. Nevertheless, she has been observed reverting to previous behaviors and monitoring her health. Moreover, her personal life and decisions appear to hinder her ability to maintain dietary constancy. Amy's ongoing difficulties and conflicts with her family, particularly her siblings, are notably troubling. Since she commenced organizing her wedding, intended to take place at an asylum, she has engaged in numerous disputes with her siblings. Amy frequently misinterprets her siblings' viewpoints, leading to more disputes. Tammy from 1,000-pound sisters has entered into a new romantic connection with her girlfriend Andrea. Nevertheless, she has been concentrating on cultivating friendships and deriving pleasure from engaging in her preferred pastimes. Throughout these activities, Tammy has maintained a steadfast emphasis on her weight and dietary regimen. Tammy has demonstrated to all, through her qualification for skin removal surgery, that everything is achievable with ambition, determination, and persistence. Nonetheless, Tammy Slayton of 1,000-pound sisters has skin removal surgery following a weight loss of 500 pounds. The forthcoming episode of 1,000-pound sisters, scheduled for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025, will chronicle Tammy Slayton's preparations for skin removal surgery following a 500-pound weight loss since the commencement of her trip in 2020. The operation, led by plastic surgeon Dr. J. Peter Rubin, is a component of her continuous treatment. The forthcoming episode preview, posted on TLC's YouTube account on May 22, 2025, depicts the events preceding the operation. It encompasses time spent with her family and the organization of a medical team. Viewers will observe the preparation process within the hospital and hear from the participants involved. In the preview of the 1,000-pound sisters episode, Dr. Rubin articulates the intricacies of the procedure in a confessional. This is a highly complex case. Therefore, we will have up to 12 individuals concurrently engaged in the case, comprising our surgical team, anesthesia team, surgical technicians, and operating room nurses. Prior to the commencement of the surgery, The physician grants the family a moment with Tammy, informing them, "We face considerable difficulty, and there will be an entire day of surgery. Therefore, I will allow you to embrace Tammy before we proceed to the operating room." Dr. Rubin states that the medical team, comprising professionals from many disciplines, collaborates to ensure the treatment is conducted safely. He elucidates that this preparation, the surgical procedure, is designed to address the specific requirements of Tammy's condition. Tammy, a star of 1,000-pound Sisters, is accompanied by her siblings, Amy, Amanda, and Chris, prior to her entrance into the surgery room. Amanda offers a prayer, stating, "Lord God, we express our gratitude for this day. We never anticipated reaching this point, yet here we stand. I express my gratitude, Lord, for directing the hands of these physicians and for safeguarding my sister from head to toe." Amanda conveys assurance and solidarity in her prayer, asserting that they have got this and will confront the problem collectively, concluding with a benediction in Jesus' name. Subsequently, Amanda provides encouragement to Tammy, stating, "All right, listen, everything will be fine. Allow these physicians to perform their duties without concern." Tammy inquires of Amanda the reason for her tears and seeks to ascertain whether they are tears of joy. Amanda states that she is weeping since Tammy is their younger sister, and they have anticipated this moment for an extended period. She asserts that they all experience analogous emotions, characterizing them as happy, scared, all the above, but provides reassurance that everything will be well. Chris provides reassurance, indicating that it is customary to experience anxiety prior to a significant procedure such as Tammy's. The star of 1,000-pound Sisters asserts that anyone in her circumstances would undergo a range of emotions while anticipating surgery. He asserts that there is an ample supply of sufficient medical personnel to attend to her during the entire process. Chris conveys assurance in the procedure while recognizing the associated hazards, stating, "Should chaos ensue, God willing, provided the brook remains unaffected, God assumes control," he states. Nonetheless, the intricate family tree of the 1,000 Delby sisters, featuring an absent mother and enigmatic half-siblings. 1,000 Elby Sisters commenced as a reality series chronicling the weight loss endeavors of sisters Tammy and Amy Slayton. Over 5 years, 7 seasons, and the loss of hundreds of pounds, it has evolved into a poignant and engaging portrayal of the sisters' entire extended family. Viewers of the series will recognize the complexity of the Slayton family tree, which includes half-siblings and their intricate mother, Darlene. To clarify the identities of all individuals involved, we have thoroughly examined the siblings, half-siblings, parents, and the intricate relationships among them. Darlene is the matriarch of the intricate Slayton-Halterman family and the mother of Tammy Slayton, Amy Slayton, Chris Combs, Amanda Halterman, and Misty Wentworth. Tammy and Amy had discussed in the series Darlene's role as a cold and aloof parent, frequently absent due to many jobs, resulting in the children being predominantly reared by their grandmother. During a TikTok live in 2024, Amanda verified aspects of the family tree that had been assembled over the years by devoted followers. Misty is Darlene's eldest daughter with her first partner, born when Darlene was at 15 years old. Chris and Amanda approached father number 2, followed by Tammy and then Amy with their father, Larry. Darlene subsequently married the children's stepfather, Frank Rednor, in 2013, remaining wed until his demise in 2021. Despite the intricate family dynamics, Darlene has appeared several times on 1,000 LB Sisters, failing to endear herself to viewers, who see her presence as merely reinforcing Tammy and Amy's narrative regarding their damaged relationship. Tammy, 38, is the elder of the 2 most notable siblings. Her experience with obesity and weight loss, including several health crises, disappointments, and victories, has been documented on camera. Remarkably, Tammy has shed over 225 kilograms since the inception of the show. In 2022, during her stay at a food addiction recovery center, Tammy encountered Caleb Willingham, who was similarly undertaking a weight loss quest. The couple became engaged in October of that year and wed in November 2022. Regrettably, Caleb Willingham expired in June 2023. Affectionately referred to as Queen Tammy by her admirers, the celebrity identifies as pansexual and is currently in a relationship with a lady named Andrea. Cameras have documented their burgeoning connection, including their inaugural date at a bowling alley. Amy is the youngest sibling and the full-blooded sister of Tammy. She was the inaugural recipient of bariatric surgery, resulting in substantial weight reduction. She is the mother of 2 kids, Gage, aged 4, and Glenn, aged 2, with her ex-husband Michael Halterman. Just when you believe this family tree could not become more convoluted, it is revealed that Michael and Amanda's spouse, Jason, are biological siblings. During Amy and Michael's marriage, Amy and Amanda were simultaneously sisters and sisters-in-law. Amy is presently betrothed to Brian Lovvorn. In a May 2025 episode of the series, it was disclosed that Brian proposed at Henderson Haunt's haunted house in Henderson, Kentucky, in October 2024. Brian presented his new fiancée with a silver band adorned with 2 skeleton hands creating a heart, rather than a conventional diamond ring. Viewers were introduced to Tammy and Amy's elder half-brother Chris in Season 2 of the series. He initiated his personal weight loss journey and has also been a significant supporter of his sisters, rapidly becoming a favorite among the show's fans. In June 2024, Chris commemorated his remarkable 68 kilograms weight reduction achieved over 3 years following his bariatric surgery. Christopher stated that his father died at 57 from weight-related issues, and he wished to avoid a similar fate. "I desire to be in the company of my family. They are my utmost priority," he stated. Chris wed his second spouse, Brittany, in 2016, for years subsequent to their initial meeting while employed as managers at McDonald's. He has 2 grown offspring, Brandon and Emily, from a prior marriage and is currently a proud grandfather to their children. Amanda is Chris's full-blooded sister and the half-sister of the other siblings. Amanda was wed to Jason Halterman for 22 years prior to their divorce in 2020. Subsequently, she became a part of 1000 LB Sisters in its 3rd season, contributing further familial conflict to the narrative. Amanda and Jason have 4 adult boys together. In May 2025, Amanda became a grandmother for the first time with the birth of her grandson, Carter Lee Wayne Halterman. Carter is the offspring of Amanda's eldest son, Braxton Halterman, and his fiancée, Audrey. In January 2025, Amanda disclosed her new connection with Leonard E. Moore. Misty is the eldest of the Combs-Slayton-Halterman siblings, being Darlene's first offspring. She appears on 1000 LB Sisters less frequently than her siblings, however is seen as a rational and supporting influence in their life. In 2023, she and Amanda simultaneously eliminated their smoking habits to qualify for weight loss surgery, which they received on the same day. She has been wed to her husband, David Wentworth, for 23 years, and they have 4 sons together. The step-siblings of the Slayton family, Tammy, Amy, Amanda, Chris, and Misty have the same mother, but they also have step and half-siblings related to them through their fathers. Tammy and Amy own a half-brother, Stephen Slayton, residing in Texas. Amy stated in a YouTube comment that they have an additional half-brother on her and Tammy's father's side, who was adopted out of the family. The quintet also has step-siblings Crystal Collins and Wayne Rednor, offspring of their deceased stepfather, Frank. Nonetheless, Misty and Tammy comprise the new 1000 LB Sisters Season 7 Dream Team. Apologies to Amy and Amanda. Misty Slayton and Tammy Slayton have undeniably emerged as the prominent duo in Season 7 of 1000 Pound Sisters. Their interaction has altered the overall tone of the current chapter, introducing a distinct, incisive wit, honesty, and sisterly friendship that Amy Slayton and Amanda Halterman seemingly no longer possess. Misty's subtle, perceptive humor complements Tammy's aggressive and self-assured demeanor, and their recent interactions, such as their synchronized side-eye during Brian Lovvorn's proposal, demonstrate that they are not merely around for supplementary amusement. Amy has indeed been crucial to the show since its inception, primarily fostering its emotional core rather than providing audiences with the authentic chemistry exhibited by Misty and Tammy. Amanda's remarks and presence, though consistently refreshing due to her candid, forthright demeanor, have transitioned into a role that appears more adversarial than supportive. In contrast, the interaction between Amy and Amanda appears to be adhering to predictable patterns and intense moments, whilst Misty and Tammy have begun to infuse a lighter, more organic spirit that revitalizes the show. Misty and Tammy have attained an advantage this season due to their equilibrium of humor and support, but there is a rationale behind it. Tammy's metamorphosis encompasses not just physical changes, but also emotional growth, and fans have accompanied her on this trip due to her ongoing engagement with them via social media, even during the show's hiatus. Misty's quiet power and clarity now contrast with Tammy's sudden assertiveness, highlighting her blossomed confidence. Consequently, rather of vying for attention, as Amy and Amanda frequently appear to do, Misty and Tammy share it with ease. Their interactions prioritize mutual energy enhancement over screen dominance. Amy and Amanda each provide distinct contributions to the show. Currently, Misty and Tammy are experiencing a serendipitous alignment of the correct individual, appropriate timing, and compatible frequencies. Amy and Amanda each provide distinct contributions to the show. Amy's early journey was crucial to the primary narrative of 1,000-Pound Sisters, as her transition into motherhood and her initial weight loss achievements provided substance to the show and established its foundation. Amanda was a crucial voice of reason when familial discord threatened to escalate, delivering harsh love that frequently stabilized the turmoil. Their contributions are unequivocal, and their synergy has produced memorable moments throughout the seasons. Nonetheless, the durability of their allure appears to be diminishing as their on-screen characters more progressively predictable. Recently, a Reddit user entitled Noted Clever Name 8365 made a joking request for an episode dedicated only to Misty and Tammy. Nearly all individuals responding to that post appeared to express a unanimous sentiment regarding the exceptional chemistry between Misty and Tammy in this season. In discussing Brian's proposal to Amy, a specific fan humorously remarked that the side-eyeing was the sole commendable aspect of that proposal. Numerous spectators characterized the interaction between Tammy and Misty as invigorating and relevant regarding sibling dynamics. A remark aptly stated, "Misty is the Jim Halpert just reacting to all the insanity around her," thus encapsulating why their combination has resonated with audiences recently, aside from providing a refreshing departure from the show's previous monotony. However, Amy occupies an entirely distinct position. She stated unequivocally, "I love him. I cannot forget him." This battle has generated a rift between the two sisters, hence intensifying curiosity and worry among the audience. 3 months had elapsed since Amy traversed the aisle in a simple backyard ceremony, adorned in a flowing lavender gown and radiating affection. Tammy occupied the back row, her demeanor inscrutable. Since that day, a transformation has occurred in their relationship. Amy believed circumstances would improve following the wedding. However, the quiet inside their sisterly relationship was becoming increasingly pronounced. "I simply do not comprehend it, Amy," Tammy finally exclaimed one afternoon, following days of evasion between them. They were seated on the porch of their mother's antiquated residence, a location that previously included joy and extensive conversations. "You wed an individual who lacks the desire to nurture your offspring. That is not love, it is denial." Amy's eyes brimmed with tears, not due to unfamiliarity, but because the words stung more when uttered by her sister. "Tammy, I am enamored with him. He is not flawless, yet I cannot erase him from my memory. He was present when others were absent." Tammy crossed her arms firmly, her voice lowering. Being present during favorable circumstances is not equivalent to remaining during challenging times. What occurs when the children inquire why father is absent from school performances? Or why he reclines on the couch with his phone rather than perusing bedtime narratives? Amy averted her eyes, her gaze wandering across the yard. "I am uncertain. However, I have made my decision. I suppose I must create my own," Tammy remarked, her voice faltering. "I cannot endorse this, Amy. Not due to a lack of affection, but rather because of it. You merit someone who embraces your entirety, rather than merely the aspects that are convenient." The sun descended behind them, projecting elongated shadows onto the porch. For an extended duration, neither party uttered a word. Amy finally murmured, "What is the next step?" Tammy rose gradually. "Now, we determine how to express our love for one another from afar, until you are prepared to return." As Tammy departed, Amy remained seated, the wind softly pulling at her hair. She possessed affection, although it came at the expense of her sister's confidence. Now, burdened by the consequences of her decisions, Amy recognized that, at times, love alone is insufficient to maintain familial cohesion. Nonetheless, Amy Slayton had long existed under the burden of obligation. Amy's world had always revolved around her sister Tammy, whose exuberant personality and escalating health problems commanded attention. Since they reached an age of comprehension regarding adversity, Amy had assumed the roles of second mother, emotional support, and caring for Tammy. However, what is the expense? Amy's existence has subtly receded into obscurity. It has not always been this way. There were instances of laughing, recollections of youthful aspirations, and nocturnal conversations in which they confided about a future replete with love, family, and liberty. However, life had alternative intentions. As Tammy's weight increased and her need intensified, Amy's load also escalated. Despite marrying and having her own child, Amy relentlessly devoted herself to Tammy's care, managing diapers in one hand and oxygen tanks in the other. "I am not truly living," Amy said to herself one night while soothing her little son to slumber. "I am enduring for two individuals." Tammy was once again in a foul mood, cursing, rejecting assistance, and reacting aggressively whenever Amy mentioned healthful practices. Amy exhausted all options: therapists, weight loss specialists, and meal preparation plans. However, Tammy was unwilling to accept assistance. She wanted dominion over Amy, over the family, over the shame she wielded as a tether. The pivotal moment occurred at a familial cookout. Tammy declined to participate until all elements were Tammy approved, signifying fried meals and the absence of chairs that induced feelings of humiliation. Meanwhile, Amy dedicated the entire morning to preparation, perspiring in the kitchen while her infant screamed in the background. Upon Tammy's arrival, an hour tardy, she proceeded to critique everything: the cuisine, the seating, the embellishments. "You are indifferent to the difficulty I am experiencing," Tammy shouted in front of the entire assembly. Amy experienced a sudden rupture. "Negative, Tammy. You are indifferent to the difficulties I have faced." The ensuing hush was overwhelming. On that night, Amy resolved to make a decision. For the inaugural occasion in her existence, she prioritized herself. Her son merited a mother who was not perpetually fragmented. She merited a life free from emotional manipulation. What about Tammy? Tammy needed a profound low point, not as a form of retribution, but as the sole means for her resurgence. Amy ceased responding to all calls. She ceased canceling appointments to rush to Tammy's residence. She established genuine boundaries. When Tammy exhibited tantrums, Amy permitted her behavior. When Tammy attempted to evoke guilt, Amy responded, "I love you, but I am no longer your lifeline." Tammy reacted unfavorably. Months of stillness ensued. Hostile messages. A confrontation on social media. However, Amy remained resolute. With each passing day, she became increasingly resilient, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. She commenced therapy, engaged in prolonged strolls with her son, returned to academia on a part-time basis. Gradually, an alternative version of Amy began to surface, one no longer ensnared in the cycle of codependency. Subsequently, one day, a call was received. Tammy was the one in question. Her voice sounded subdued, fatigued, however genuine. "I am undergoing rehabilitation. I desire to undergo transformation. I long for my sister." Amy's eyes filled with tears. Not from sorrow, but from optimism. "Tammy, do you know?" She spoke gently. "I miss you as well. Your authentic self. I anticipate her return." Several months later, Amy and Tammy were seated on a bench in the park, observing Amy's son pursue Bubbles. "I did not anticipate that you would ever relinquish," Tammy confessed. Amy responded, "I did not either." At times, loving someone necessitates taking a step back to enable their progress. The siblings chuckled. For the first time in years, it was not through suffering, but through tranquility. Nonetheless, the day was leisurely on a Sunday in Dixon, Kentucky. The cicadas hummed outside while the sun streamed through the window blinds of Misty's living room. Internally, tensions were poised to escalate further, not due to climatic conditions, but because Tammy Slayton had recently revealed a shocking revelation. She acquired a new boyfriend. Chris and Misty positioned themselves opposite her on the sofa, their mouths slightly agape and their eyes brimming with skepticism. "Repeat that," Chris spoke deliberately, narrowing his eyes as though he had misinterpreted. Tammy expressed her disdain by rolling her eyes. "I stated that I am in a romantic relationship with someone. His name is Keaton." Misty crossed her arms. "Keaton? Who bestows the name Keaton upon their child?" She gazed at Chris. "That resembles an individual who dons skinny jeans and plays the ukulele." Tammy exhibited a sneer. "You are simply upset because I have discovered someone who genuinely appreciates me." Chris inclined his body forward. "Tammy, we are not upset. We are merely apprehensive. Each encounter with a new individual often reveals motives centered around financial gain, the pursuit of social status, or the introduction of conflict. I have not yet posted him on TikTok," Tammy retorted, folding her arms. Misty elevated an eyebrow. However, a quiet ensued. Chris ultimately shattered it. "Where did you encounter him?" "Online," Tammy remarked nonchalantly. Chris's expression instantly became tense. "Which application?" Tammy exhibited hesitation. "A Facebook community." Chris expressed discontent. "Lord, bestow mercy. Was that another one of those big, beautiful women groups?" Tammy cast him a scornful look. "It was a support group for chronic illnesses. Thank you very much." Misty narrowed her eyes. "What does he possess?" Tammy nonchalantly shrugged. "Obstructive sleep apnea." Chris's lips quivered. "That is not a chronic illness. It constitutes a significant portion of Kentucky." Tammy directed a scathing glare at both of them. "Observe, Keaton is distinct. He pays attention. He transmits messages to me each morning. He inquired about you all." That captured Misty's attention. "Is that so?" Tammy acquiesced. "Indeed," he stated, "family is of paramount importance. If they disapprove of me, I have no opportunity." Chris closed and opened his eyes rapidly. "Understood. That is remarkably self-aware for one of your romantic partners." Misty remained unconvinced. "Have you engaged in a video conversation with him?" "I am aware." Tammy expressed her frustration. "I am not unintelligent, understood? I am aware of the events involving Philip and Jerry. I am not attempting to replicate history." Misty became more gentle. "Understood. We are simply concerned for your well-being, young lady. We seek an individual who uplifts you rather than diminishes you." "I comprehend," Tammy remarked, her voice suddenly subdued. "This occasion appears distinct. He is not coercing me to undertake any actions. He advocates for my therapy. He desires to engage with you genuinely, rather than only seeking recognition." "I perceive," acknowledged. Chris gazed at Misty before redirecting his attention to Tammy. "Very well," he remarked, placing his palms on his knees. "Extend an invitation to him. We shall interrogate him personally. If he can endure Misty's glare and my interrogation, perhaps he is worth retaining." Tammy emitted laughter. "Agreement. However, you all must conduct yourselves appropriately." Misty smiled broadly. "No assurances." As Tammy reclined on the couch, she experienced an emotion she had not felt in a considerable time. Hope. Perhaps Keaton was not merely another futile romance. Perhaps the probing by her siblings would signify the commencement of anything genuine. However, considering her upbringing, it was bound to be a tumultuous experience initially. Nonetheless, Tammy was an exceptionally generous girl with aspirations that exceeded the confines of her village. Residing in a tranquil, diminutive town, she frequently engaged in scrolling through her phone, gazing at images of Las Vegas, the luminous lights, the vibrant streets, and, most significantly, her lover, Jake, who had relocated there months prior for employment. Jake and Tammy connected online during the pandemic. Their connection was immediate and robust, notwithstanding the distance separating them. Each night, Tammy would recline in bed, envisioning the day she would ultimately visit him, experiencing a surge of excitement within her. She desired this journey to be flawless, a genuine adventure, an escape from the mundane, and an opportunity to create lasting memories with Jake. However, a hurdle arose. Tammy's weight exceeded 300 pounds, and traveling, particularly solo, was not always facile for her. Concerns arose regarding her comfort on the plane. Is she capable of walking large distances? What if individuals gazed? However, her resolve was unwavering. She sought to demonstrate to herself her capability to accomplish this task. One evening, Tammy convened with her sister Amy, her most steadfast supporter. Amy, having confronted her own struggles with weight and self-assurance, understood precisely what Tammy required to hear. Tammy, Amy stated assertively yet compassionately, this excursion is centered around you, irrelevant to the opinions of others. It pertains to affection, bravery, and the pursuit of one's existence. You are worthy of this. Motivated by Amy's remarks, Tammy commenced meticulous planning for her journey. She reserved a non-stop flight to Las Vegas with more legroom accommodations. She assembled suitable attire and ensured she possessed all necessary items for safety and health on her travels. Primarily, she reaffirmed to herself that she deserved happiness, irrespective of circumstances. The day ultimately arrived. Tammy's heart accelerated as she embarked on the aircraft. She felt apprehensive yet resolute. Seated near the window, she observed the clouds drift past, envisioning the myriad adventures that awaited her below. Upon Tammy's arrival, Jake awaited her with a broad smile and outstretched arms. They embraced fervently. Tammy's heart felt as though it would explode with elation. In the ensuing days, Tammy and Jake surveyed the city. They traversed the Strip, explored vibrant casinos, and sampled the renowned Vegas buffets. Tammy experienced the city's vibrant energy and Jake's affection elevating her mood. Every stride resembled a triumph, not alone against the physical obstacles, but also against the internal concerns she had harbored. On their final evening, Jake escorted Tammy to the apex of the high roller, the colossal observation wheel. As the city lights shimmered beneath, he grasped her hand and declared, "You are my courageous, exquisite Tammy. This journey marks merely the inception for us." Tammy beamed, experiencing an unprecedented sense of strength and confidence. This journey transcended a mere visit to Las Vegas. It was an exploration of life, love, and self-discovery. While seeing the sunset together, Tammy realized that regardless of what transpired subsequently, she was capable of managing it. She had already undertaken the most significant step, self-belief. Nevertheless, Tammy was consistently a compassionate and benevolent woman, leading an unpretentious existence in a quaint village. For years, she grappled with self-confidence, but that transformed upon meeting Philip. Philip was distinct, gentle, empathetic, and genuinely compassionate. He overlooked Tammy's physique and fears. He recognized her essence. Philip and Tammy's romance developed rapidly. Philip esteemed Tammy's resilience and her capacity to maintain optimism despite her adversities. Tammy, conversely, discovered hope and joy she had never previously experienced. One day, Tammy extended an invitation to her close friend Amy to meet Philip. Amy gained notoriety from the program 1,000-Pound Sisters, where she candidly depicted her life, including the difficulties associated with severe obesity. Tammy and Amy forged a connection via their mutual experiences, providing support to one another as they traversed life's challenges. Amy was intrigued by Philip and wished to meet the man who had brought considerable happiness to her friend Tammy's life. Amy was impressed by Philip's arrival. He exhibited respect and kindness, clearly bringing joy to Tammy. Amy, Tammy and Philip developed a close connection over time. Philip urged both Tammy and Amy to adopt incremental measures for healthier living, consistently with compassion and without coercion. Amy appreciated Philip's encouraging demeanor, while Tammy felt fortunate to have discovered someone who genuinely loved her for her true self. The three commenced a project, a blog aimed at inspiring individuals grappling with weight challenges. They recounted narratives of optimism, inclusivity, and the strength of camaraderie. Tammy and Amy's openness connected with numerous individuals, while Philip's steadfast support demonstrated how love can serve as a catalyst for transformation. Despite the challenges encountered, Tammy, Philip, and Amy demonstrated that with love, compassion, and resolve, everything is achievable. They imparted to one another that self-worth is not determined by size, but by the bravery to persist in progress. Ultimately, Tammy's new lover Philip was not merely a partner. He was a companion to Amy and a symbol of optimism for both women in their pursuit of a more fulfilling and joyful existence. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina, and I hope your day is going splendidly. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.